yes. So see, that's why I always come with the, because I see when y'all say y'all was neglected, y'all wasn't taught to listen, you wasn't taught discipline, it wasn't taught that, in life you had to stop fantasizing. See, that's them are the things you weren't taught. See, you thought, some of you guys, I'm gonna tell you what you thought, and I know it's a shame, you're probably ashamed of it, but this is what you thought that you were gonna be able to do. I thought you was gonna get away with it. Now, like I said, maybe not all, not all people that do that, of course not, but you guys in particular that's always trying to respond and always talking. So you thought you could just say the word. Oh, I was neglected as a child. Oh, this and that and that and this. No. I'm going to tell you what you were neglected of because you show it every time. Like I said, you were taught not to listen. You were not disciplined. And you were never taught to stop fantasizing. Because to this very day, you don't know when someone's talking to you. To this very day, you're still very codependent and don't want to hear about what I'm saying about you when I'm trying to help you guys. So see, that's what you weren't taught. That's where, you were neglected at, and I gotta admit, right, it's fucked up. See, y'all, when you say neglected, we probably talking about something totally different. I talk about the reality of life. Not the shit that y'all want to talk about, because stuff y'all talking about is little pussyfooting around game, right? Again, you were not taught discipline, you were not taught to listen, you were not taught to speak when spoken to, and you were not taught to stop fantasizing, and you were not taught to stand on your own. That's what you wasn't taught. See, you can you trying to cover it up with a title. Just like everybody trying to cover up everything that somebody do wrong or right, or whatever the case is with the word narcissism. They're trying to cover everything up that's good, and it's like, empathy. No. See, y'all know you're dealing with the real teacher here. You're dealing with the real father. You're dealing with the real reality. You're dealing with real experience that know what you're talking about, because I provide what you didn't have because I had it. And that's the point. You understand? That right. And see, you say, oh, he's just providing us with this. He didn't have no provision. No, I had plenty of provision. That's why I can provide plenty of provision and more. That's why I do that. But you see, you weren't taught that because your father never taught you that. So you could never say, oh, my father taught me. You can't say that. Right. Not laughing, but being real with you. You can't say it. I can. That's why I say it all the time. And why do I say it all the time? To let you guys know that it's okay that you didn't have that. Stop trying. Right. Like I said, but you weren't taught. So now my lessons are going to teach you. And, I'm going to teach you what you were never taught. At this age, some of you are. I'm going to teach you to just listen, to stop trying to respond, to stop trying to teach along with me when you can't teach because you weren't taught to do that. See, when I teach, let me explain one thing to you before I go. And it's going to be the last time I say it, probably not, because I know how people, right, it give me that string. Now, when I teach, right, I'm teaching with what my ancestors taught. I'm teaching what my grandfather taught. Never knew none of my grandfathers, but I'm teaching what my father taught, teaching what my uncle taught, teaching what my uncles taught, teaching what some of my cousins taught. Teaching what some of my enemies taught, teaching what my mom taught, teaching what my aunt taught. See, that's what I'm teaching. And now, lastly, to this very day, I'm teaching what I taught. Right, see, this is me. So that's what I teach. That's what you see. I always say what came before me taught. Now, listen good, because some of you got a dyslexic brain, a little mentally retarded. You don't hear correctly, right? I didn't say everybody was the best person in the world or this and that or the worst. I said what was taught. And you see, but all that was taught was discipline, to listen, to use your mind. That's what, see, right. So that's the point. So when you try to go over what I'm saying, the reason why I can teach it to you is because of discipline, confidence, reality, experience. And you see, that's the point. So when some of you taught, you weren't taught no kind of discipline. So if you were taught discipline, you would say, oh, my father was hard on me, my mother was hard. Right, because you know why? You didn't want to be disciplined. And when we look at you today, you're not disciplined. Everything you hear, you run off the mouth like Google with water in it because you're retarded. But just as I said, don't worry. Daddy got your back. Because you see, all the mouth and all people do. I realized I was looking at people, mouth and all, and mouth and all. They have no idea what they're talking about. They wasn't even taught. They can't be taught. Right. Now, one thing you have the distinct honor of saying, under Millennium, man with trillion solutions, taught you. Whether you don't got to admit it because you already know on the inside. You're right on the inside because it's like some of you tried to go and teach it failed. You look stupid doing it because you don't know what you're teaching. You never had provision over you teaching to teach you these things, and then the regular knowledge just coming to you. It never came to you. That's why you can't teach it. That's why you can't teach it. That's why when you hear me say that, those of you that know I'm talking to you, know I'm talking to you. See, the people, like I always say, one more time, so the people that just teach, and they're regularly teaching things, and they just being realistic with it, and they know how to spread out, like I just did, spread out the reality of things, not try to hide behind a subjective title so it can fit their narrative. You understand? Life is not about that. Even when you're young, when your parents are right and everything else, you know that the life that you know that life is about you doing what you have to do, but you know that life is about the girl to the left of you and the man to the right of you, the boy to the right of you. Even right, exactly. We was taught that. You guys weren't taught that. So right, and you just start talking. It don't work like that. But you weren't taught. I understand you didn't have like I said, a normal childhood. And childhood wasn't normal in school. It wasn't normal because your mother and your father didn't take care. It wasn't normal with your grandfather, your grandmother either. Because look how some of you act. That's what I'm saying. Stop pretending like, things got better when you did. It didn't get better. It got worse. Because now that you're older, it's even worse. Because you know what? Now that I got older, you can't even function without them. At least some of y'all had to function with them, I guess. But yeah, you can't even function without them. Look at you. And you see, like I said, this is the point. See, when people talk dumb narratives, yeah, it makes me continue to talk because that's just the point. And when people try to put words in my mouth, right, I teach you that you never put words in other people's mouth. See, you weren't taught that. See, that's what I'm telling people. See, what it really boils down to, people be telling you they weren't parented at all. And their kids are not parented. How are your kids parented when you're acting like this? Think about it. Every person's making YouTube videos and those are just in the world listen to this. How are your children being parented right when you don't even know how to listen? If you were parented right, you wouldn't even be listening at all because there would be no need to even bring up anything else because you would know how to do it. See, I catch you out there every time because you weren't taught game, you weren't taught discipline, you weren't taught to be relying on yourself. You weren't taught nothing, and now you come saying that stuff, and you think you're gonna get some pity. You say that you didn't heal from anything because you didn't heal from it because you didn't heal from anything. You just wasn't taught these things. That's some of these people that saying stuff like you what did you heal from? You didn't heal from nothing. You was never taught. That's your problem. So, and again, another thing, stop getting your terms mixed up with these fake ass narcissistic coach YouTubers. They have no idea what they're talking about. Right, you didn't heal from anything because you weren't a victim of anything. You just wasn't taught. Just like they weren't taught. And that's what most people's case is. And like I said, when they keep saying this and that and this, they just wish they would spoil you, and they weren't being spoiled. They were taught to be disciplined. They were taught to stand on their own, and it was too much of a wimp to do it. And like we say sometimes, some children, some of y'all, you were a waste of sperm. That's the point. In all reality, you were a waste of sperm. Real talk, you were a waste of sperm. Just like now today, you're a waste. That's why you when you hear something, you always try to reverse it. Because when you hear the truth, you can't handle it. Right, because some of you were a waste. And you're a waste today, and if that's what you are, that's what you are. Now that might be traumatic for you to hear today, but it's reality. All right? So we'll go for now.